Chris Lee of Southeastern 14, presented by Bearded Iris, here to wrap up SEC baseball action from Sunday, and in Auburn's case, Saturday. We'll get to you, Auburn, at the end. Our apologies for not having something up Sunday. It was Mother's Day, and you know how that goes. Anyway, we're going to get to what happened on Mother's Day, and I think the headliner had to be in Baton Rouge, because I don't think anybody in the world, even Mississippi State fans, had Mississippi State going into Baton Rouge, taking 2 games of 3, especially after losing the Friday game. That is exactly what happened. Mississippi State 14, LSU 13. The game ends in an outfield-assisted double play. And I think the story for Mississippi State has been that State found some pitching on a day when nobody could. Tyler Davis gives Mississippi State 4 scoreless innings in late relief, or actually middle relief is more like it. And he bridged the gap for State's bats to wake up. State was down 13-4, got 4 in the 6th and 5 in the 7th, and then Aaron Nixon came on for a little bit of a roller coaster ride to get the win and end the game. He walks 3 in 2 innings. For LSU, the story has been the same for a couple of weeks. The Tigers really just don't have a lot of pitching after Paul Skenes. LSU threw 9 guys, none of whom threw well. And LSU in this one gets 5 RBIs from Braden Jobert, a couple home runs from Trey Morgan. Didn't matter. LSU in a position now where it is having to outslug everybody, and that is going well sometimes and not well at other times. And to see to see LSU lose 2 of 3 in that park to Mississippi State was just shocking. Here's another thing that's shocking. Looking up and seeing Arkansas with all those pitching injuries at the top of the SEC's overall standings, but that's where we are on Monday morning. For Arkansas, Hunter Hollan, maybe the pitching performance of the weekend in the league. He goes 9 innings, gives up 1 run. It was earned, strikes out 10, walks 1. South Carolina's bats kind of went cold this weekend. Think that had a lot to do with Arkansas. In this one, you had 3 hits from Peyton Holt at the bottom of the order. He scores 2 runs for Arkansas, which gets home runs. Let's see, I think in this one from Tippett and McLaughlin. Actually, Tippett for South Carolina, their second baseman, playing with some of the injuries. He's back now, and that was the only run for Carolina. Arkansas 19-8, and the sole leader in the SEC standings overall. I'll see them in Nashville next weekend as Arkansas tries to clinch the SEC regular season title. We got a new leader in the East for the first time in a long time. Florida, after sweeping Vanderbilt, now sits at 40-12, 18-9 in the SEC, in great position for a national seed and in great position to win the East. In fact, I think Florida probably clinched things virtually by sweeping Vandy in Nashville. Had Vandy taken 1 of 3, then I think Vandy would have been a team with a chance, but I think Vanderbilt's chances have gone by the board now. The Commodores have not hit on the weekend in forever, and now the pitching has just gone to disaster. Vanderbilt did not throw Carter Holton or Hunter Owen this weekend with injuries. Don't know when or if those guys are going to be back. For Florida, Jac Caglianone, who has just been a disaster on the mound lately, goes 6 2/3 and strikes out 9, walks 1. Now, Caglianone is really talented, pushes upper 90s, and of course, we know about him being the NCAA's home run leader, but he hasn't gotten it done on the mound. Vanderbilt was just what the doctor ordered in this case. The Gators sweep that series, are now in great position to win the SEC East. And as for Vandy, 17-10 now in the SEC after starting, 14-2. It's just been a disaster in Nashville, and I don't know if Vandy can get that right or not from here on. I guess we'll see. But anyway, Florida now 18-9 on the year. All right, this is one of the favorite box score lines I have seen all year, because sometimes you see some things in a box score and you say, if they play this game again 100 times, does it end up like this? And my guess is it doesn't. Tennessee gets 17 runners on base in this one, and Kentucky gets 16. Now, usually you get those kind of base runner numbers and you expect a close game. What you don't expect is the team that gets the fewer base runners to win that one 10-0, which is what happened. That was also on the road for the Kentucky Wildcats, who win this one 10-0. Now, I say base runners. That's a little bit misleading, because 5 of Kentucky's base runners hit home runs. And so when you do that, you hit a home run team 5-0, you're probably going to win. But anyway, just a weird game where the Vols get, what was it? 8 hits, 7 walks, and a couple of hit by pitches, and somehow managed not to score a run. I don't think you could do that again if you tried. For Kentucky, Darren Williams comes on in relief. He was wild, walks 5, but none of those scored. He goes 4 innings scoreless to get the win in that one. Drew Beam, who struggled lately for Tennessee, struggled again in this one. Goes an inning and 2/3. It gives up 4 runs, walks 1. Vols win the series in this one and sit at 14-13 in the SEC. But Tennessee really needed to sweep to have a great chance to host, because they are going to South Carolina next weekend. That's a team that plays very well in its ballpark. The Vols do not play well on the road. And so I think if you were Tennessee, you wanted to finish this off to really have a good chance to host. Not saying Tennessee can't. Tennessee goes into Columbia and sweeps, then they're going to be hosting. But that's a tall order. And Kentucky now, I think, also keeps itself alive in the hosting race. It sits at 15-12 overall. Before we get to the rest of the games, a shout to our friends at the Bearded Irish Brewing Company in West Nashville. That is home to Black Dynasty's Secret Ramen House. You'll find a wide variety of comforting bowls of meaty and vegan-friendly ramen with house-made noodles alongside rotating weekly features, seasonal sides, salads, and desserts. Go check those guys out in West Nashville and tell them you heard about our channel, or excuse me, you heard about their locations on our channel. Okay, I've been calling out Alabama as a team for a while that I thought was better than the record. At least for a weekend, I was right. Alabama goes to Texas A&M, not the easiest place to win, although the Aggies have not played as well proportionally in their home park as some of the other teams in the league do. Alabama clinches a 2-1 series win because Jacob McNairy and Alton Davis II combine on a shutout. They strike out 10 guys and walk 1 between them. That is really tough to shut down that A&M lineup anywhere, especially in College Station. But hats off to the Tide for doing that. Hitting-wise, Andrew Pinckney gets 3 hits, knocks in 3 runs, hits a home run in that. So does Tommy Siedl. Again, Alabama just a really, really balanced team and has been playing well since its coach was dismissed. For A&M, it's kind of the same story. Nobody pitched well once again. The Aggies threw 6 guys. None of them were really the answer in this one. A&M 12-15, and I think would still make a regional right now, but needs to make sure it does not face plant and gets at least a game or 2 next weekend. Okay, team that kind of face planted this weekend was Georgia, which got walked off, I think, 2 days in a row. This one, it leads 4-3 coming into the 9th. Cam Chick gets a 2 RBI single to win that one for Missouri, which sweeps Georgia. Georgia still had a shot to get an at-large bid. 10-17 now, barring a sweep this weekend. And even then, it would be dicey. I don't think Georgia is going to make the NCAA tournament. Missouri now in excellent position to make Hoover at 10-17 overall. In this one, Logan Lunsford goes 4 innings, gives up 4 runs. Those earn, and then the bullpen pitches in and throws 5 shutout innings for Missouri. Kind of a surprise not to see Luke Mann at a home run. I think he had a streak of 6 straight games with home runs. He goes 0 for 4, but his teammates really pick him up in this one. Trevor Austin hits a home run. The Bulldogs get home runs from Charlie Condon, Connor Tate, Levi Harbor, but just not enough base runners. 8 hits. It didn't turn those into much. Georgia now 10-7 in the SEC. That was a tough weekend to be a Bulldog. Okay, Auburn. We didn't get to you guys yet. Auburn swept Ole Miss in Oxford. The final game, 8-2 on Saturday. The story for Auburn has been the same for many weekends. Tommy Vail once again pitches well, goes 8 innings, gives up 1 run that was earned. Ole Miss pitched 4 guys, all gave up at least a run. For Auburn, a home run from Mike Irish in that one. And Cole Foster, 2 hits again. He's been red hot, it seems like, in SEC play. Auburn finishes the weekend in great position at 14-13 to make a regional. I think Auburn would be in no matter what at this point. And maybe with a final good weekend, you could see the Tigers host. All right, I'm Chris Lee of Southeastern 14, presented by Bearded Iris. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you again soon.